Coming up, we join Tzu Chi volunteers in Jordan at their regular visit to care for refugees. We meet a foreign caregiver to learn of the current situation in Japan's nursing home industry. Welcome to our headlines. I'm Wendy Chen. Thank you for joining us. In the 2 years that the civil war in Syria has been raging, more than 1.5 million residents have been displaced. 500,000 of those fleeing the violence have found temporary refuge in neighboring Jordan. To help the tens of thousands displaced by this war, Tzu Chi volunteers in Jordan carry out monthly food distributions and medical care for those living in and around the refugee camps. At their most recent distribution, the volunteers brought a special gift for the children, which were made by the Dharma masters in Hualien's Jingsi abode.
Wearing their new shoes handmade in Hualien, Taiwan by Dharma masters of Jingsi abode, the children are full of laughter and their mothers share a rare smile.
Our masters spent 15 hours to make this by hand. By hand.
As the Syrian civil war rages into its third year, refugees face an increasing lack of basic necessities as NGOs and charity organizations find their budgets stretched thin. Thankfully, Tzu Chi has been there to provide milk powder for over 1,000 households on a monthly basis. At this latest distribution, Tzu Chi volunteer Chen Qiuhua just recently returned from Taiwan, also brought 20 pairs of baby shoes, hand-sewn by the masters at Hualien's Jingsi abode. This mother and her 2 children fled Syria with nothing, now in Jordan, and desperately in need of help. Volunteers help the family with the purchase of daily necessities.
This is the sleeping bag for sleeping. This will open and you can cover.
Helping the family install water and electricity is former Tzu Chi care recipient Abu Fasim, who feels grateful to be able to give back for Tzu Chi's assistance during his surgery. Currently, there are close to 500,000 refugees in Jordan, most being women and children, or those injured in the fighting. The main thrust of Tzu Chi efforts are currently directed towards those living in refugee camps. Here, Tzu Chi assists at 4 medical centers and also runs a monthly food distribution. The goal is to help these weary refugees pass the days with full stomachs and warm clothing as they wait for the cease of hostilities, so they can finally go home.
In Myanmar, after Cyclone Nargis devastated much of Yangon nearly 5 years ago, Tzu Chi began Project Hope to help reconstruct damaged schools, including the Yangon No. 1 High School. On July 26, Tzu Chi College of Technology students, along with local volunteers, arrived to distribute school supplies and care, showing that within even adversity, there is hope.
After torrential rains flood the streets, walking home for these students from Yangon No. 1 High School becomes even more treacherous. Walking on sandbags placed on the mud with cell phones as their only source of light, Tzu Chi College of Technology students and local volunteers, however, remain undeterred in their efforts.
I saw a little boy in pain who started crying. He looked pretty sad. In Taiwan, if we felt so uncomfortable, our parents would take us to a doctor. People here are poorer, so compared to them, we are really lucky to have so much.
In a small cottage, a sweet song breaks all language barriers. Tzu Chi College of Technology students help spread love and school supplies at the Yangon No. 1 High School with local volunteers.
Our family is struggling financially, so it is difficult to buy school books. It is such a great help that Tzu Chi comes and distributes school supplies.
Tzu Chi really cares about helping us, and not just with reconstruction efforts. I have never seen such a caring organization in all my years as a teacher. We're also happy that they come every year and donate school supplies. Everyone looks forward to it.
As students and volunteers bring materials to a disaster-torn school, they also bring one more important item to the students and teachers there: hope.
Moving to Taiwan's Hualien to help students in remote areas improve and develop an interest in learning English, Tzu Chi and Tzu South from the United States organized 2 English summer camps. Attending the second camp were 120 elementary students who all found the events to be not only useful but fun.
Cake.
At the second English summer camp organized by Tzu Chi and Tzu Shao's from the United States, elementary school students joined together to enjoy a joyful learning experience.
Through this English summer camp, Tzu Chi and Tzu Shao's from the United States have realized that many kids in different regions of Taiwan are in need of English tutoring service. They can take this opportunity to teach them English and help the students develop their interest in this language.
During the class, these big brothers and sisters use various props to grab and keep the students' attention.
They taught me vocabulary I have not come across at school. It was an interesting time and I would like to learn more.
Teachers play movies we have watched before to teach us English. It's easy to learn that way.
In addition, students from the Tzu Chi Senior High School in Hualien are on hand as teaching assistants to help the children make sure no one is left behind.
During this 5-day summer camp, we hope that they can seize every opportunity to learn as much as possible and bring something precious back home.
Showing off their teamwork and enthusiasm, these youngsters from the United States inspired local students to continue their adventures in the world of English.
Staying in Taiwan, also making the most of their summer vacation are students from Hualien's Tzu Chi Senior High School who formed a group to take part in volunteer work at the Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital. As well, graduates of the school also joined to serve as hospital volunteers and pass on their knowledge and experience. Let's take a look.
Following the Tzu Chi volunteers in categorizing patients' medical records are youngsters from the Tzu Chi Senior High School affiliated with Tzu Chi University. Although they are required to do this routine work 6 hours a day, they do not complain but feel blessed to help out instead.
During summer vacation, I usually just stay at home doing nothing. So I think why not join them and be a hospital volunteer? This way I can learn something new too.
As Shu Yusheng is handling the medical records, his brother Shu Weiliang is assigned to help out at the patient's wards. In total, 45 students and alumni from Tzu Chi Senior High are taking advantage of their summer vacation to help out at Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital.
It is a great opportunity to do the volunteer work with my younger brother. These Tzu Chings are my former classmates, so joining them makes me feel I'm back in the old days. I'm happy to work with them.
Despite being unfamiliar with the Taiwanese song, the students' dedication and kindness has already moved the seniors. Thanks to the motivation and company of their senior classmates, the younger students quickly become proficient as hospital volunteers.
I'm not good at Taiwanese, while most of the residents here speak in Taiwanese. If I encounter any problems, I will ask a senior classmate first. He will often share some tips with me.
As the students receive the volunteers' vests from their senior classmates, they vow to relay their love and pass on their knowledge and experience to the next generation.
To encourage members of the public to live a healthier lifestyle, staff members of Tzu Chi's Charity Mission Development Department and Tzu Chi volunteers visited residents in Phong Binh Township to promote the concept of replacing liquor with tea. Besides advocating a healthier lifestyle, volunteers and foundation staff also gifted the residents there with tea bags and reusable water bottles. At the end of the day, residents all agreed to put what they have learned to practice.
At the onset of the event, Tzu Chi volunteers first take blood pressure measurements of the residents.
When we drink, the alcohol traps uric acid in our body and it doesn't get released.
The foundation and Tzu Chi volunteers arrive at Phong Binh Township in Hualien County to share the effects and consequences of alcohol consumption and to promote the concept of tea instead of liquor to residents.
As many young people suffer from gout, just as Director Lu mentioned, Drinking tea will help improve their condition and will normalize their blood pressure.
Volunteers also prepared tea for residents to try. Seeing the improvement in his health since he quit drinking, volunteer Ling Yaolong speaks out from experience.
Consuming alcohol only harms our body. When I drank too much, I would feel dizzy and drowsy the next day. Since joining Tzu Chi, I've given up smoking and drinking. When I wake up in the mornings, my body feels healthier.
For a healthier lifestyle, volunteers hope that their gifts will inspire the residents to toast with tea instead of wine and further spread this practice with their friends and family.
In our continuing report on the nursing home industry, we look at the foreign caregivers that currently work in Japan. Japan is known for its strict regulations in regards to foreign workers. However, its rapidly aging population also means that the country is facing a shortage in human resources. In 2008, after the Economic Partnership Agreement was signed between Japan and Southeast Asian countries, Japan opened its doors to foreign caregivers and nursing staff, provided that they only work in nursing facilities so as to guarantee the rights of domestic workers. Here's more.
Though I may not understand the language and am unable to read a word, I will work hard for my family.
Roberto is one of the most popular caregivers here at this nursing home. He speaks fluent Japanese with a little accent. Knowing that the seniors have trouble hearing, Roberto is always patient and mindful. The word Roberto is too difficult to pronounce for these elderly, thus they call him Bobby.
At night, because they can't walk, so when they need to get off the bed, that's when they need help the most.
To many of these grandpas and grandmas, Bobby is probably more like a family member than a caregiver. Originally from the Philippines, Bobby came to Japan to find work.
今日雨か。
僕は大学も卒業した。それから介護のユニットはフィリピンで英語で勉強した。But since I'm studying the kaigo, how to make proper and appropriate care, they call it in the Nihonga dandan, gradually. I've learned that why they do these things and what the appropriate action should I do.
Japan is known for its strict regulations regarding foreign workers. In 2008, after the Economic Partnership Agreement was signed, Japan began allowing foreign caregivers to work in the country. However, the numbers are still limited by the fact that they are only allowed to work in nursing facilities.
Caregivers not only include Filipinos, but also Indonesians. This year, there are some Vietnamese too.
The director of Omi Furusato Garden, Masako Ida, has been in the nursing care industry for some 3 decades. After the EPA was signed, she immediately applied to hire foreign caregivers. It is estimated, however, that Japan still needs 1 million more nursing staff.
Foreign caregivers are just as skillful as local caregivers. Bobby has been here for 2 years already. Next, he will just need to pass the national test. Language-wise, basic communication is not a problem. But when Bobby becomes a full-time employee, he will need to be able to write. He is studying hard and hopefully he will pass the January exam.
Foreign caregivers who have applied to work in Japan through EPA are few in number, and those who have passed the national exam are even fewer. Masako Hirohashi, a human resource expert who frequently helps out at the nursing home, is alarmed at the shortage in manpower.
Today, only 1,500 foreign workers are here in Japan, and among them only a few hundred have passed the exam. There are still about 30% that have trouble making their way in Japan. The EPA scheme is not enough to resolve the shortage of human resources in Japan.
All foreign caregivers who have worked in Japan for 3 years are required to pass a national test to remain in the country for a longer period of time. If Bobby obtains his license come January, he will receive a monthly salary of roughly $2,500 and fulfill his dream of providing a better life for his family back home. In the United States, 9 months after Hurricane Sandy devastated much of New York City, Tzu Chi volunteers continue to care for disaster survivors. Recently, they delivered a bed to Rosa Orozco, who was sleeping on a military cot before. The single bed was donated by the owner of a furniture company, who immediately offered his services when he found out that the bed volunteers were purchasing was to go to a disaster victim like himself.
Here in this tiny room, a military rollaway bed is where Hurricane Sandy survivor Rosa Orozco sleeps.
It was horrible because I lost my furniture, my clothes, and my job. It was a very hard time. And I didn't have money for paying my apartment, my rent, and then I jumped to my friend till get it this room.
Upon finding out Orozco's rundown sleeping conditions, New York Tzu Chi volunteers were ready to purchase a new one for her, and a furniture company donated a set to respond to the cause. He is also a Sandy survivor, and when he heard we were delivering it to a Far Rockaway resident, he didn't hesitate to donate the single bed to us. This bed helps Orozco's injured back, giving her support while asleep, reducing her aches and pains. A Tzu Chi charm hangs inside this white room, which firmly warms the spirit of those that need it the most.
Back to Taiwan, a stem cell donation drive took place over last weekend at the Taoyuan Jingsi Hall, and in less than 2 hours, 160 blood samples were collected. The event was not only attended by local residents, but also soldiers who called on their fellow counterparts to take part in a good cause. Next, we join Tzu Chi volunteers at the stem cell donation event in Xizhi and Wanhua districts, where some members of the public were inspired by the good cause to show up and participate.
Here at the Wanhua Jingsi Hall, over 300 people flocked to the venue to take part in a stem cell donation drive. A group of youngsters also promoted the event on Facebook.
There were many Tzu Chi volunteers at Taipei Main Station. When I passed there, they were passionately promoting their cause. And as I walked towards the MRT station, which was some distance away, they continued to talk to me about the event, and it really moved me.
When I saw it, I also thought that it was a meaningful event, so I immediately agreed to take part. I'm fortunate to have such a kind-hearted boyfriend.
We often see on social media or the internet many criticisms of our country and society, but despite this, perhaps there's some good we can do.
Through the World Wide Web, the power of love can spread far and wide. While here in Xizhi district, some members of the public arrived after seeing the event being advertised on Dai TV.
I think Dai TV brings a positive influence into our home. We encountered some family issues a while back, but it was resolved since we started watching Dai TV, so I think this is a positive environment.
Not only is the web an effective tool to spread love and compassion, the influence of the media can also send goodness into every home. Soldiers not only defend our homeland, but are often called to assist with disaster relief. Given any opportunity to help, these soldiers will be there. Zheng Weizhi, currently serving in Taoyuan, is one such person, and he has invited other fellow soldiers to help save lives.
I'm just giving a little of what I can. If we can extend another person's life, it will be a great accomplishment.
Here at the Taoyuan Jingsi Hall, less than 2 hours into the stem cell donation drive, 160 people have showed up to donate their love.
Although we get tested now, we don't donate right away. It could take years or maybe never. If there's an opportunity to help someone, then that would be great.
Xu Minghong, who never gives up on an opportunity to do good, arrived at the Jingsi Hall with a Tzu Chi volunteer he met at the bus stop.
She asked me where I was going, and I told her I'm going to the Jingsi Hall to volunteer.
Although blood types may differ, it is compassion and love which brings people together.
In our final report, we meet former inmate Wang Xianyi, who used to head a local gang. After serving 13 years of jail time, Wang was inspired by the love and support of his wife Pu Yuzhen to turn over a new leaf and has since become a steamed bun shop owner. During his free time, Wang visits different prisons in hopes of inspiring other inmates to step in the right direction.
Mixing the steam bun batter with the machine is former inmate Wang Xianyi. To better take care of his elderly parents, Wang decided to open a steam bun shop near his house. Although once injured when making the steam buns, Wang never thought of giving up. The reason behind his determination is the love he received from his wife when serving his 13-year prison sentence.
My wife and children used to visit me at the jail. She had to ride a motorcycle from Kaohsiung's Zhuoyin to Tainan City.
Making Chinese steam bun is hard work. However, Wang says to be able to spend time with his family has turned all the hardship into happiness. And most importantly, he doesn't have any more regrets.
When I was released on parole, my wife asked my eldest son if he was happy that I was coming home. He said that he didn't have much feeling for me because he didn't have a father for such a long time. I was really sad when I heard that.
After gaining success in selling steam buns, Wang Xianyi decided to visit different prisons to share his story with other inmates.
I always encourage those that are still serving their time to have faith, because there are many opportunities out there as long as they are ready.
With determination and courage, Wang Xianyi has gotten rid of his bad habits and has started a new life full of happiness and harmony.
We stay in Taiwan at the end of the show at the science camp organized by the Tzu Chi Tainan chapter for elementary school students. Tzu Chi volunteers inform these children of the harmful chemicals that exist in our daily lives and how it can be detrimental to our body and environment. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.